Hey there, this is Bonnie, and today I wanted to discuss binge behavior. Um, so I don't know if anybody caught Natalia from Ourobouros. She posted a few months ago, and I miss her. I really miss her videos. She had such insightful videos. She had a video about binge behavior and collecting decks. And are you a collector? Are you just hoarding? It was all about the psychology involved with that. And this morning I was on Simon from the Hermit's Cave. I was on his I'm in his Facebook page, and there was a thread this morning about people who like, thanks Simon, like I've just ordered, like every time you do a video I buy more, I keep buying more decks, like my collection has tripled since I started watching Tarot Tube is hazardous to my financial health, like ha ha ha, joking joking joking. And I think there's something interesting actually, because to be honest with you, yes, I am buying more decks, but I've cut expenses in other areas. Um, the other thing is, too, I think the thing is, because we can't go right now, like, usually you would go to a store and you can browse things and you can look at things. I can't go to the bookstore right now and just have a day of leisurely browsing and looking at things and soaking up the atmosphere and then going out for a coffee. I can't go to my record store, which is one of my favorite places to go, like record store shopping and my antiques shopping and all of that stuff. All the things I love to do are not readily accessible to me right now because nothing's open. And when you go online, when you go on Amazon, or when you go on to indie creators, or when you're on TarotTube, or when you're on Instagram, and when you're seeing all this stuff that you can get just by clicking a button, and your PayPal just automatically, boom. When you have that like instant gratification button, rather than like holding it and going, do I want it? Do I need it? Oh, there's a line. I'll get another time. Like, that happens to me almost all the time. Like, seriously, that happens to me all the time, where I pick something up, I feel it, I touch it, I look at it, I might walk around the entire store with it, and then I put it back because I'm like, do I really need it? Do that with records all the time. Um, do that with almost anything that's in my collections. And I am a collector by nature. I love collecting and soaking up culture. Um, but part of the thing is, too, it's just like we, like, there are things that I might be buying in the spring. I might be going through my clothes right now normally and going like, okay, what are my spring slash summer clothes? Put my winter clothes away, make a donation pile, get new clothes, get new. I'm not buying clothes right now. Like, I'm not buying clothes. I'm not buying shoes. I'm not buying anything that is not like essential, because my company, I'm gonna be working from home for quite some time, for quite a few months now, um, for quite a few more months, and I actually love working from home, so I don't miss going into Manhattan. I don't miss a 2 hour each way commute. I'm happy. But the things I do miss are going to actual stores and picking things up and touching them and feeling them and looking at them and all that. And it's like, for me right now, I'm like, anytime payday comes, it's almost like Pavlov's bell. And I think I mentioned that in my comment. Like, it's like Pavlov's bell. It's like, ding, 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 reward, I got paid, I still have my employment, yay, I get to buy a deck. Um, and honestly, like I said, it's definitely a thing that's just like gives me joy to get something new, to look at something different, because face it, like right now, a lot of us are dealing with so much monotony. Like, monotony. My days, I don't know what day anything is anymore. I know what day that today is Thursday. Today is Thursday. I know that tomorrow is Friday, but there's nothing really that distinguishes each day from each other right now. The things that do distinguish the days from each other are getting something nice and shiny and new in the mail. It's like, ooh, my walk to the mailbox every day, because I live in a condo complex where you have to actually walk to the front of the complex to the mailbox. So my walk to the mailbox is my like little piece of joy of the day, my little walk, and I get to see if something new came, and I'm still waiting on my Dreamweavers, and I hope it comes soon. Every day I'm like, where is it? Yeah, I know that shipping is kind of crazy, so that's kind of where that is. But there's also like, I'm buying. Sometimes I feel guilty for buying new decks, and then I'm like, well, I canceled my transit check because I'm not traveling. I'm not spending money on gas. I'm spending more money on food and pretty much decks, and stuff for the house, like necessary things for the house. So that's kind of where I'm going. So there are a few decks that I bought recently that were definitely like the fear of missing out. So I wanted to also talk about like the buying things, because you know that they're not going. You find out that either A, it's on sale at a really amazing price, or B, they're not reprinting. So two decks came in this week that were definitely FOMO. One is the Maiden Oracle, and the thing about this deck is I was really on the fence with this, and I was really, really like admiring this for months. But I really liked also the Pythia Botanica, but I didn't really want the tarot because it didn't speak to me as well. But I have the Hedge Witch, so after I got the Hedge Witch, the Pythia Botanica just didn't speak to me anymore. But what I like about this is I love that it's almost a hybrid deck. There's your major arcana here, and you have it also as a traditional oracle after you go through the major arcana. And honestly, every single walkthrough that I have seen of this does not do how beautiful and how much quality, how much more stunning this is in person. Now, I was on the fence with this for a while, and I read online that this was the final. There would not be any reprints at all, that this was pretty much it. But it didn't seem like it was running low in stock, so I was just like, yeah, whatever, I'll eventually get it. And something told me to go on to the late. I think it's because I saw that the Pythia was back for, was back in stock, and I was like, oh, let me take a look at that again, because I kept going back and forth with that and with this, and I kept going like, do I want the Maiden? Do I want Pythia? Do I want the Maiden? And then I was like doing comparison like with my Hedge Witch, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want the Pythia. And then by the time I was ready to go, hey, I want to get the Maiden, they were out of stock. They were out of stock. And I was just like, wow. So I was like, let's see if Phoenix and Lotus still has it in stock. Let's see if Phoenix and Lotus has it. Phoenix and Lotus had it. So I ordered from Phoenix and Lotus, and I got one of the last two that she had in stock. So thank you, Phoenix and Lotus. I love Phoenix and Lotus. The other deck, similar situation, and it is the New Wave Tarot. So the New Wave Tarot, this is just, I'm going to be speaking about this more in depth, actually, in an upcoming video, so I don't really want to go into detail on this, but this is pretty much teenage me. This is Teenage Mutant. I'm gonna get on Sunset Vows hashtag on like the Decks of the Ages or Decks Through the Ages or that hashtag. So I really don't want to go through these too much right now, but holy moly, this deck. So this is a deck that I was interested in back in November around my birthday. And I was like, nah, I don't need it. Nah, I'm not gonna get it. Not gonna get it. No, don't need it. It's cute, but whatever. It just, honestly, like, the quality of the cards do not, like, every photo I've seen of this deck, the photos do not do this deck justice because the quality of these cards is actually quite decent. It's pretty good. It's glossy. It feels good in the hands. It just, the colors are great. Like, it's just really good. But what happened, and this is story time. So story time being that I finally was, I saw it on, it's sometimes like when I do Etsy searches, it sometimes pops up in my suggestions. And then it came up in my suggestions and it said, only 3 left and 20 people have it in their carts. And I was like, they'll have more in stock. They always do. It's because you see that I see that all the time where like a deck creator or an Etsy shop is like, they go through stock, they put maybe small batches online, then they they put more on, and then you're like, okay, great, I can now order it. And it was like, yeah, I could probably wait a couple months, maybe they're reprinting. And then I didn't pay much mind to it, so then I went back to the Etsy shop and it was like gone. And then I went to the Last Craft website and it was sold out. And then I went to the Last Craft Instagram, and they pretty much said that once they would be like in an earlier post, like, if you want it, take it now, these are the final copies, and there's not going to be a reprinting. And I'm like, great, I missed out. But the awesome thing about Last Craft's website, because they are a brick and mortar store, they have a brick and mortar presence, or they have stuff, they have distributors too. Because they have designs of other things beyond tarot decks. So this was the only tarot deck that they have, but they have some other cool, like, apparel and cool stuff, and they distribute to record stores and other kinds of metaphysical shops around the country. So I was able to track this down and find somebody that had this in stock at a record store in Philadelphia. So that was pretty cool to find that. If I have I don't have the name off the top of my head. No, it was Repo Records. I'll put that in the link. But that was pretty awesome that I found this through the Last Craft website and on Repo Records. They had it in stock. Now, who knows if they still have it in stock, but that was some creative, like, sleuthing. So, I mean, like, the binge behavior thing, I do have more decks coming, and I'm just like, but I do spend quite a bit of time getting to learn my decks, and I really do like having the decks. There are also a couple of decks that I wouldn't have necessarily bought if they were not having a sale. There were indie decks that I was mesmerized by, and I wasn't quite sure if I wanted them, but I wound up getting them because, they had such good sales that how could you resist? So, Laura Zisman of the Luminous Void had a sale the other week. This is a deck that I thought that I was both intrigued by it, but also, like, put off by it at the same time. And I spent so much time watching deck reviews. A lot of you have seen these images, and this is the Shuffle edition. But I saw, I was so on the fence. And when I saw what really I love this Empress. seriously love that Empress. What really made me make the decision to go for it was watching Lisa from Supportive Tarot, watching her like full intuitive hit walk through everything and saying like how this would be great for path working and how the images can really get you into that subliminal kind of space. And I was just like, wow, this can really tap deep into my subconscious. Yeah. Another deck that was on my radar, but I wasn't planning on getting it anytime soon, was the Dark Days. And I really love the images, and I really love that it's a square deck. And the thing about this is, yeah, the images are just so pretty to me. Like, I love the images. The artwork is great. The style is... The art is just so whimsical. I just really love these illustrations. And you can really look very, very deep into... You could get lost in these images. And she was having a sale. And I was a little bit, like, on the fence with it, but I'm glad I have it. And I'm going to... The last image I'm going to show is my favorite Empress ever. Like, this is just stunning. So, High Priestess, sorry. It's a High Priestess. And High Priestess is a big deal card for me. So, that is probably my favorite High Priestess ever. I still haven't used it yet because the way I select decks to work with for the week and everything like that. But I'm going to definitely get it in circulation at some point and do my week with. But I just really wanted to talk about, like, okay, everyone's buying decks, everyone's binging. I have some, I'm getting paid tomorrow, so I'm like, okay, what am I going to get this week? But I think the thing is right now, if you feel that these tools, and these are tools, and to me, having a lot of decks and being a collector and having that collector mind space, but to having these tools, if they bring you comfort, if they bring you joy, if they bring you like calm in a very chaotic world, like keep going, like, you know, do what feels right for you. If it feels like something that gives you joy, definitely go for it. For me, I really do feel like each deck in my collection has like a unique personality. And what fascinates me, like seriously, what fascinates me about tarot, every time I do a draw, every time I do my daily draws, anytime I do any kind of reading, it fascinates me the personalities that each individual deck has. And sometimes I have done a daily draw 2 times a day, or I'll do a daily draw with a different deck, and sometimes I feel like it's telling me the same thing but in a slightly different tone. So what I enjoy about collecting and getting to know, I just love getting to know the psychology behind the deck from the creator's perspective, but also from with my intuition. So I really just love that kind of psychology behind it all. The other thing is I am a collector by nature. I collect records. I collect vintage magazines. I like having things that give me knowledge and that give me a sense of delight and wonder. These things bring me comfort. So I don't think you should feel like, unless you really can't afford it and you're spending money that you really don't have, if these things bring you comfort and joy and really give you that sense of like wonder and magic and gives you that sense of hope and gives you whatever you feel like you need, don't feel guilty about buying your decks. This is a really trying time. A lot of us are going through a lot of different emotions at this time. So whatever gives you joy right now, you do you, is pretty much what I'm just saying. So with that being said, because I feel like I'm starting to go in circles, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm going to be getting on some more videos. I'm starting to feel the need to branch out a little more. So hope to see you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye.